Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, and let's get right to the show I have for you guys today. We are on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. We are powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. This is currently Recap Monday, Season 5, Episode number 9. How you guys doing today? It is currently 6:42 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be getting into about 15 to 18-minute show I have for you guys today. We're just going to be going over what were some takeaways from week 4, what teams surprised me, and what teams do we have like in the thick of things? Do we think a 4-0 start for certain teams is a fluke? Do you think that they played bad teams? And what are some questions that we have for each of the teams that just played this week? So let's get right into it. Week 4's biggest questions, takeaways for every game. So first up, the Ravens absolutely dismantling the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football. Ravens won 35-10. How big of a statement did the Ravens make in a dominating undefeated Bills? It took 4 weeks, but the Ravens looked like a Super Bowl contenders for the complete game. From the first play, Derrick Henry's 87-yard touchdown run to Kyle Van Noy's strip sack in the third quarter, Baltimore looked like the team that entered Sunday night undefeated. What makes the Ravens more dangerous than previous years is they're more than Lamar Jackson on offense. Henry ran for about to be 200. He ran for 199 yards, scoring 2 tutties. Heading into the AFC North game next Sunday at Cincinnati, the Ravens appear set to make their move in the division, closing to within 1 game of the Steelers for the first place in the AFC North. Now that was something. Now the Bills. Question: was this performance a fluke, or will these issues become bigger problems for the Ravens in general? I think the Ravens are a formidable opponent. I think they are Super Bowl bound. They have the team to go all the way and win it all and to beat the Chiefs. They have the running game. They have the defense. They have the MVP quarterback in Lamar Jackson. They have the wide receivers. They have the tight end position. They have everybody. It's really all about if they can sustain it for the whole year. That's really the question mark that I have. For the Bills, was this performance a fluke? I would think it was not a fluke. I think there are bigger problems. They haven't played a very tough schedule. They played against pretty shitbag teams. And then they finally played against a real formidable opponent, and they got killed. Not to mention they almost lost to Arizona when they just beat them barely. So, I mean, we don't have to panic, but there's a lot more question marks than we thought. With the Raiders, with an upset win over the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, 20-16, even with Devontae Adams and Max Crosby nursing injury, how far can the faceless team with a different mentality carry the Raiders? Aside from Adams and Crosby, the Raiders were also without 4 other starters in tight end Michael Mayer, right tackle Thayer Munford Jr., linebacker Divine Delab, and safety Marcus Epps. Plus, cornerback Jack Jones sat the first 2 defensive possessions. It was truly a team-first mentality that should only get better when the missing talent returns. I think the Raiders are actually not a bad team. I just think that they're in a tough division. They have somewhat of a tough schedule, but they're going to be a tough out for any team. Cleveland is a disaster. I don't think they're going to regain their defensive form from last year. I think just Cleveland's offense has failed so badly this year that even the defense can't even propel itself to do well because the offense is so shit. Then the Kansas City Chiefs, LA Chargers. This game was a very defensive type of game. The defense showed big prowess for Kansas City, only holding Justin Herbert and the Chargers to 10 points. But they did lose Rashid Rice, and it's funny to even say it. Patrick Mahomes threw an interception, then he went for a tackle, and on the same time, Rashid Rice stripped the guy that intercepted the ball, but then Mahomes tried to go with a tackle, and he banged into his receiver's knees and tore his ACL. So really, without Hollywood Brown, Rashid Rice, and might be even Isaiah Pacheco for the season, you got Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, and Xavier Worthy. Those are your 3 guys now. So you guys, if you're thinking about picking up a fantasy guy, definitely take Kareem Hunt. He's going to be doing some things. Chargers. Their offense is very lackluster, very, very bland. They really don't have a lot of weapons. They really don't have a lot of pizzazz like they used to. At least with the Chargers, their defense wasn't all that, but at least their stuff was a lot better. But the Chargers just look like they're not in it. They're too run heavy, and they really don't have any other offense. San Francisco and New England. San Francisco was a little bit of a weird one. A lot of people have been clowning me on my YouTube for saying that they're bad without Christian McCaffrey. I think they could be at another level with Christian McCaffrey. Not to mention this guy, yes, he's not the whole team, but he does do a lot. And if he wasn't there in the last year, they're not making a Super Bowl, and they're not even competing against the Chiefs without him. So I'm just thinking that Chris McCaffrey, even though Mason's doing well, I think Christian McCaffrey elevates this team to even more heights. And I think with Christian McCaffrey, I don't think they lose the 2 games that they are. Patriots, they're a disaster. They changed the quarterback already back to Jacoby Brissett from Drake May. I think that was a dumb decision, but it is what it is. Washington, it might be the real deal. I know a lot of people are saying they haven't played a lot of big competition, which is true. So I would definitely say, other than the Bengals, which they beat, I would definitely say that Jaden Daniels is the real deal. Commanders might be a little up in the air, but they're 3-1 top of the NFC East right now. Arizona, they're up in the air. I thought Arizona would come in and do some damage against Washington. I was totally wrong. Washington blew the doors off them. Arizona has a lot of question marks. Jets, Broncos, this was a shocker. Did not think the Jets would only score 9 points off all field goals with Aaron Rodgers. Yes, it was pouring yesterday. It was a bad weather game, but that was perfect for the Broncos. That's exactly what they wanted. Aaron Rodgers is older. Didn't have that step that he had against New England. So Broncos showed some fight. They're going to be a tough out against any opponent that they play against. The Jets, their QB Aaron Rodgers led offense is not as potent as they were hoping. So let's hope that in the near future things come back to fruition and things get a little bit better. Minnesota and Green Bay. Minnesota and Green Bay is a little bit of a tricky one. This was a very, very shit game. Almost a half, 2/3 of the game. And then Green Bay came out of nowhere. Minnesota was up big. They were killing them. But they really only scored, I think, 3 points in the second half. It was really bad. Green Bay scored almost all their points in the second half, if not all of them. Vikings, how much does Kevin O'Connell trust QB Sam Darnold? Well, I think he does a lot. He's played fantastic. They're one of the few 4-0 teams. You got to keep in trust with him. Justin Jefferson is loving it. Jordan's Love knee injury is definitely not. He's not 100%. He didn't look 100%. He still has that injury affecting him. He even said it. Sometimes you got to play through stuff, but I would have just rolled with the guy, the backup. He was playing well, but this is why teams just are not consistent sometimes. They just mess up in decisions. Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. This was another great game, but again, Colts were killing them 17-0 at one point. But the Colts really didn't score as much in the second half. Justin Fields in the fourth quarter led them all the way down. Anthony Richardson did get hurt. Joe Flacco stepped in and was wonderful. Justin Fields showed that he can come back from down big. Couldn't get the job done, but damn, he played good enough. Texans, Jacksonville. Texans is a little bit of a sloppy, man. They have not been as sharp as they was last year. Had a feeling it was going to happen. Everyone got used to it and stuff like that. So definitely think that there's some leeway. There's something happening there, but they got to get on the same page. Definitely. Jaguars, same thing. Jaguars is a little bit weird. They just suck. I just don't think they have any consistency. They're really bad. I'm going to pause, guys. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back in just a sec. Okay, our next game we're going to be going over, guys, is the Bengals versus Carolina. Bengals, man, I don't really feel so confident in them in general because they gave up 24 points to Carolina, and they only scored 34. Carolina's not a good team. So there's a lot of question marks, but Jamar Chase had a great day. Panthers, Andy Dalton is going to give them a chance to win more than Bryce Young. He's the best fit for that team, but can they get consistent wins? That's the question. The Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints is the next game. Atlanta, Yangwei Koo saved the day. Kirk Cousins drove them down the field, kicked the field goal in the closing seconds, won the game. New Orleans, again, 2 straight games in a row, had a shot to win the game late. They could not get the job done. So New Orleans drops to 2-2 after starting 2-0 on an electric start. Atlanta has not that many questions. Defensive-wise, has a little bit. Offensively, they just got to get into the swing of things. Saints, I'm telling you, I think it was a fluke. I don't think the Saints were actually that good. I just think that they got a good hot streak and they were able to play well. Tampa Bay and Philly. Philly sucks absolute balls. I don't think they're that good this year. Tampa Bay is really a good offense and has a good defense, but Philly just looks all over the place, just like Dallas. Tampa Bay wins 33-16. I think Tampa's going to be good this year for against anybody. Eagles, they got a lot of question marks on defense. They got a lot of question marks entering the bye, and they got to get some people healthy. They got like nobody. Devontae Smith was out, A.J. Brown was out, Lane Johnson was out. Like, damn. They don't really suck. They just are not. They're not healthy. Bears Rams. Rams are just very inconsistent. Very low scoring. Matthew Stafford's getting older. He has no help. Puka and Cooper Kupp is out. Chicago looks great. Caleb Williams completed some pretty good passes today. They got some help with the running game behind DeAndre Swift. So the Bears were looking good. Cowboys and Giants, as we already went over, I think the Cowboys just got to get into a groove. This is a great game to get to it. Dak played it well. CD got the ball. Ferguson played good, but we lost Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence to injuries for a little bit, so that just sucks. Giants, they got a lot of question marks, but still they could be 3-1 right now if the ball bounces in a different direction and they could score a touchdown. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much all the games that happened for this Sunday. We have a doubleheader today between Tennessee and I think it's Tennessee and Miami. Remember, Tua's not playing. They have Tyler Huntley as their quarterback versus Will Levis. I have Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans taking the dub today. And then you have the Seahawks taking on the Lions in Detroit. I got the Lions taking the win as well. Miami's just not going to be good this year. Tua's hurt. They don't have a consistent guy that can deliver the ball. We'll see how Tyler Huntley does tonight. Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans, they're just a mess. Cannot get any consistency with Will Levis and smartness. He just does some dumb shit. And then for the Seahawks, I think they're going to be a formidable team. I think they're going to be a fun team, but I think come down the wire, they're going to lose a lot of close games, and they're not going to be as top as they are right now. And then the Detroit Lions, they're going to be there at the end. I think they're one of the best teams in the NFC, and they got a great offense, and everything's rolling. They just got to get the win. I got them winning tonight. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for Recap Monday. Again, we went over all the NFL games that happened this Sunday and basically told you my thoughts as well as what ESPN told you guys on how each game and each team seemed and how they kind of can build off of a win or try to change things off of a loss that happened this weekend. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday for season 5, episode number 10 with my boy Irv. He'll be on Wednesday. So other than that, guys, I might be able to get Adonis on as well, but if that's not the case, we'll definitely have Irv on Wednesday. So I'll catch you guys there. Have a great rest of your Monday night. It's currently 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Season 5, Episode number 9 on Recap Monday, powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, and that will be it. Peace out, guys.